In this video, we're going to talk about Virgin Galactic Holdings. If you're considering buying Virgin Galactic Holdings shares in your portfolio, then please keep watching this video until the end, because it covers many of the factors that should be considered regarding buying, holding, or selling the shares. During the most recent trading session, the stock opened at $53.23 and closed at $44.94. The lowest point at which it fell to was $44.04, and the highest point it rose to was $54.40. Compared to the current price action, its 52-week low was $14.27, and the 52-week high was $62.80. The current trading volume of Virgin Galactic is 135 million shares, compared to the average volume of 30 million shares. Based on the comparison between the current trading volume and the average volume, I would say that the stock is usually very popular with investors and is now even more popular because it just obtained the license of flights with staff. The fact that the market is so red hot with Virgin Galactic at the moment means that the volatility of the stock, regardless of the direction, is expected to be amplified before a dip in the volume and a recovery that should follow. Given that a company is more significant compared to where it was just a few months ago, I think that it's worth our while to wait for the correction to be over before jumping back in. Now, let's also take a look at the difference between the company's market cap and the enterprise value. Basically, the market cap is the sum of the price of all shares that are publicly traded, and the enterprise value is the value of the company's assets once all the debts are paid off. We can see that the market cap of the company is $10.8 billion and the enterprise value is $10.2 billion. When we compare the market cap and the enterprise value of the company, it's obvious that the difference between the two isn't large. Virgin Galactic is costing approximately the same amount that it's worth to be acquired, and that shows that the market is being relatively reasonable with its valuation and that the amount of premium it is willing to pay is modest. Those are the things we definitely want to see when investing in a stock. Now, let's talk about the number of shares the company currently has and the shareholder composition as of the latest data available. The total amount of shares outstanding is currently 240 million shares. Amongst the total float, insiders hold 29.6% of them. The percentage owned by institutional investors total 25.9% of the total equity. There are 34.3 million shares being shorted, representing 14.3% of the shares being traded. The equity composition of Spce is interesting because it shows that insiders and institutional investors hold more than a control percentage. Personally, it is a layer of insurance and legitimacy that guarantees me that the stock is legit, that it'll eventually accomplish the mission that it said it would accomplish, and that the stock has sufficient stability to make sure that the impatience of the retail traders will not ruin its operations. The last element to consider would be the overall market sentiment. There are many reasons why investors now are shying away from the innovative and disruptive stocks. Some will say that they were overpriced, overbought, or relying on selling dreams. But essentially what happened was some people began to sell their stocks back in early 2021, and this caused an avalanche of sell-offs afterwards. I think that the initial event was the flop with CCIV, but that was just a drop that really started the entire event. The setting was there long before. And this sell-off lasted for a few months, during which many stocks almost gave back nearly their entire premium accumulated since 2020. And this event definitely spooked many investors. So even though now that the overall tendency at the moment is that those stocks are now bottoming out, investors are generally speaking more skeptical, and the companies have robust ideas or financials may survive, not the other ones. Virgin Galactic is definitely going to be one of those. The long-term outlook of Virgin is quite encouraging because the company is getting closer to its objective and has showcased its capacity to maintain its operation going, despite the stock sell-off between February and May. I believe that the company will grow to a much larger place in a few years, but that time frame may be measured in more than a decade, or even decades, instead of just a few years. So it's ultimately a question of patience, and it's very important to make sure to structure your position so that the momentary pullbacks won't hurt your portfolio. My overall recommendation for Virgin Galactic is to wait for the price to finish correcting before buying more of it, but to keep the existing exposure and not give in to the temptations of selling it just because it hurts now. Of course, that's a different story if the exposure is too high. Thank you for watching. If you like my content, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel.